Renewed strikes on a daily basis, rising tensions in the Strait of Hormuz and the Bab al-Mandab, and the growing involvement of regional actors have heightened fears of a wider conflict. Well, to discuss the recent developments, we're joined by the former editor-in-chief of Arab News and the Saudi Gazette, Khaled Al Maeena from Jeddah. Thank you so much for joining us here on Asia One today. After appearing close to a diplomatic understanding in Islamabad, the United States and Iran have once again returned to military confrontation. Where do you think both sides went wrong, and what caused for diplomacy to break down?
Well, I think a couple of things. Mistrust and distrust on both sides. Iranians are getting more stubborn, which is not good for them. And the Israelis are prodding the Americans, since they are now moving out of the war for the time being. So both sides are, not looking at the larger picture. And as thus the world suffers, the 14-point agreement or memorandum, when read carefully, would have ushered in some brief respite for both sides. But then again, the Iranians attacked a couple of tankers here and there. The Americans gung-ho about shooting and fighting, prodded again, I might say so, by Netanyahu. So this is the present situation, which is not a win-win situation for anyone, because the people suffering are the people of the area. The Gulf states and Kuwait and the others who have been hit by Iranians who like to take a reactive posture because of the damages that they are being inflicted upon, has now caused more concern.
And so the United States has claimed it significantly degraded Iran's military capabilities, yet Iran continues launching attacks. How do you explain Iran's abilities to sustain these operations?
Well, the Iranians are, very resilient people. I mean, historically, they have been resilient, and it's in their DNA. And I think it's also the idea that it has to do something with pride, that they don't want to be seen that they caved in before the Americans. But this stage was almost reached when the Pakistani mediators really got them on the table, and there was a meeting, though not face to face, but at least there were some kind of semblance of agreement to be reached. But I think both sides really have to look at the larger picture, but they're not looking at, because the people suffering now are the lower Gulf states. And the world, of course. I mean, I get information as far as Philippines of the lack of cooking oil, gas, other stuff, petrol, and prices going up 94, as was said before. So this issue has to be resolved, but what you need is statesmanship, which is lacking both in the Iranian arena and also within the American framework of negotiations. And this is too much, because it's a matter of pride, and these people are all out to strangle each other and don't care for whatever happens.
And so tensions are rising around the Strait of Hormuz and Bab al-Mandab. How do you see the situation evolving, and what are the broader implications for regional and global security?
Well, I hope it won't be a free-for-all. Israel wants that, and I don't say it just because I'm this part of the world, but they are happy because, look what's happening. The infrastructure will slowly be whittled away, you see, and that will take a lot of time and effort. Who will step in? American companies will come in to rebuild. So for them, it's a win-win situation. That's one. But the other thing is that they have to realize that this thing has to be ended once for all. And as I don't what do you call agree with him all the time, said that Iran can be a great force and can make great progress if the focus is away from trivial matters of arming and disarming, their groups. At the same time, America is at fault too. Let's be very frank about it. They knew, and even Trump said it, that if they will attack Iran, Iran will react as a wounded animal does, and try to attack the neighbors. And the neighbors are within the proximity of 150 miles, 120 miles, 200 miles, or even less So this has caused a lot of mayhem and confusion in the whole area.
And so Pakistan has continued its diplomatic efforts, and senior US officials have recently visited Islamabad. How do you assess Pakistan's role in trying to reduce the tensions between Washington and Tehran?
Well, Pakistan has played a commendable role, and they've gone out of the way, and they will. But at the same time, it takes two to tango. So these two competitors or rivals or enemies, whatever you call the United States and Iran, the enmity between them, they have to come on a common platform and sit. And at the same time, I truly believe that Mr. Trump, and I don't like to interfere with Mr. Trump's policies and all, but they have to come in and get new negotiators. I mean, the Iranians have seasoned negotiators, and I think Rubio and some others will come in and they can come and call a spade and not a walking stick, and see what are the challenges that face them.
And as the conflict between the US and Iran intensifies and the costs continue to rise, who stands to benefit the most strategically and politically from this prolonged confrontation?
I don't know, politically, strategically, the Israelis will be gaining a lot because their dream of Pax Israeliana, and to come in and to dominate the area, the nations will become weak. They will be withering away. The Arabs will be focusing more on development and reconstruction. Morale might be down. These are issues which people have to really, think tanks and thinkers and strategists in the Arab world should know that the after effects of these 6 months or maybe more conflict is really going to take a heavy toll years down the line. So I think the main beneficiary is Israel, and then of course there's Zionist supporters in the United States. I mean, Trump is going to go away in a couple of years. Doesn't matter, but the long range, hard-hitting policies of these two people who fought with each other are going to cause a lot of byproduct issues and problems here.
What is your take on the latest civil nuclear deal between the US and Saudi Arabia?
Well, it's a long range. I mean, this is civil. Of course, I don't know. I don't have the full briefing, but Congress has to approve, and I think this is being done to wean us away maybe from China. But I think we have reached a stage of maturity 2 years where we know where our interests lie. And I don't think so people are going to go for nuclear weapons and all, because once you possess a nuclear weapon, you might think you have an upper hand. But then again, you are prone to attacks by another nuclear power. But I think, yes, we do need civilian nuclear facilities so that they will help in energy and water desalination and all that, stuff.
And so, looking ahead, what realistic path do you see for de-escalation? Which regional or international actors are best positioned to mediate between Washington and Tehran?
I think so far the Pakistanis have done well. I think a couple of the European, but the problem is that the Europeans are not in touch, because all of them have sided with the genocidal Israeli state. Britain is the worst among them. France is the least. I think Spain is another good mediator, but I don't know whether they will be accepted by the Americans, having seen the laughable actions of the administration and the people during the World Cup in the final of the Spanish-Argentinian clash. So I think Spain and a couple of the Norway maybe, or Sweden, they are small countries, but they are respected. So something could happen from that side. Pakistan should be there as the fulcrum of all this, because it's a go-between, because it has good relations with Iran. It's a neighbor of Iran. At the same time, it has very strong relations and agreements with Saudi Arabia and the others. So I think we need a couple of more. If you want to throw in someone also, maybe somebody from the Southeast Asia, Japan could be come in, but none of the other countries, Germany and the others, I'm sure, are not, because they've been very one-sided. Britain, no way, because of the the way they behaved during the Gaza crisis. And mind you, people here in the Arab world, and especially in the Gulf, are very mature. They know who's a friend, who's sitting on the fence, who's on the sidelines, and who is, are the mean hombres.
So thank you so much for your time. Appreciate it lots.